Animation 102, Week 4, Take 1. Short episode this week because nothing much happened in it. So, remember last week when I thought that Johnny said, hey, can you put Buckid in all these poses to make up the walk? And I said, sure, I can do that, that sounds easy. Turns out what he actually meant was, hey, this is how you make Buckid walk. Now go do it. However, I'm a Pacel, and Pacels do not fall behind when faced with adversity. No, we conquer it. So I made Buckid walk, and whilst it's not perfect, I am still very pleased with it. It should be on my channel now. I'll put it very simply under the title of Buckid Walking, so peruse at your leisure. So this week was meant to be a review session, because last week we were supposed to have a review session, but instead we just did maquettes and stuff. So this week we thought, yeah, we'll review stuff, won't we, Johnny? No, we didn't. Instead, Johnny stretched a 10-minute talk into about 3 hours. He basically showed us a video of people walking that he'd taken, which was slightly weird. Turns out the poses that he gave us were just really exaggerated of how a human walks, and that in real life humans don't walk as jovial. We also learned that the more in-betweens you have, that's frames between two keys, so starting and then breakdown, the more of those you have, the longer the walk will be. Which is very basic stuff. It's like saying, oh, if you have a handshake that's 3 frames and a handshake that's 25 frames, the 25 frame one is going to be longer. Well, yeah, we know. We also learned that reference imagery is very, very important, not just for walking, but also for any interaction, which you have to do with 2 people, otherwise it's not as believable, because say you were swinging a sword at someone, if there's not someone there, you're going to be off balance, you're going to be waving it everywhere, and it's just not going to look good. However, if there's a person there, you know what you're going to hit. So, basically, do your reference imagery right and your animation will be awesome. And by right, I mean done properly. Say you were swinging a hammer, and for the reference imagery, you couldn't find a hammer, so you used a tube. Well, that's not decent reference imagery, because a tube weighs less than a hammer. We also watched a video in which a guy walked on a treadmill and did 100 different types of walks. We didn't watch all of them, but the ones that he had were actually pretty good, and they're also quite funny. Thus, reference imagery is important, because otherwise you're just doing it from your mind's eye, which may be completely off. In terms of tasks, we won't really set anything bar making the walk that we'd already done as good as we can possibly make it. So I might have to redo mine. If I'm going to use a cupcake metaphor, I'd say it's a pretty bland cupcake, didn't really learn much, and really all I learned was that reference imagery is really important, and I should start using it in all my animations. I also learned that I forgot about bar sheets, so I'm going to have to be doing those again. The painful process of filling out a bar sheet. That takes me back to my first Animation 101 showreel. That was so painful. In summary, a pretty boring lesson, but I guess that's better than stressful. Until next time, see ya.